Greetings, everybody. Austin's laughing at me. I have no idea why, but he is.
You should have looked at the way you did that countdown.
Well, it worked, didn't it? I started on time.
And offended the whole audience.
No, because if you're saying I did what I think you're saying I did, then it was myself that I flipped off, not the rest of the world.
True.
Okay, well, I am sorry for any offensive gestures that might have gone on during the pre-show. We'll trim them off to make sure that they don't happen. And it was accidental. It reminds me of a story, actually. When I was in kindergarten, I was sitting at a table building stuff with building blocks or something, and I needed a specific block, and I reached out and I pointed across the table and said, "Can you hand me that block?" And the person got up and they walked out of the room, or up to the teacher, and the teacher dragged me out of the room and took a yardstick and started beating my hands. Didn't even tell me why. Later, I asked my cousin who was in the class what had happened, and he told me that I had pointed with my middle finger, and that was why my hand still didn't understand why until later, that that was a bad gesture. But all I was doing was pointing, for crying out loud. Nobody explained anything to me. They just took a whip to me. So, lesson to be learned: don't beat people up until you explain to them why you're gonna beat them. For crying out loud, you gotta teach people a lesson. So focus on teaching correct principles, and people will do the right thing. Okay, you had a comment.
I had a comment?
You looked like you had a comment.
No, I just was thinking I agreed with it. Don't beat up people until they continue doing that. No, just kidding. Don't beat up people in general.
Okay, so, I guess, theoretically, since I'm opening up here today, Austin, you would be the one with our first Scrum report. So what do you have you'd like to talk about today?
Yesterday I worked on doing some brainstorming for some names and stuff. A couple of the ones that I like. What?
Look at the camera, not
Okay.
at your feet.
I was looking at my phone so that I could see the names. Anyway, a couple of the ones that I liked were no, I can't remember. Business for Families and the Creatives in Business were a couple of the ones I like. Father, did you like a couple of them? Or?
Did you say creatives in business?
Yeah, Creatives in Business.
Maybe families in business.
Oh, Families in Business. We'll have to get that written down.
Okay. One thing that I wanted to share with you, I'm not sure you realized, we actually have way down here on focus areas and competitors the list of keywords that we generated. So that's a whole list of keywords that you can play with. And, yeah. So just FYI. Hey, what you doing today?
Today I'm going to work on continuing generating some ideas, and I'm also going to work on the aspirational, or measuring progress towards our aspirational ID.
Okay. Okay. Roadblocks, anything you want to say there? Okay, well, yesterday I started working on hustle goals. And I thought, okay, the first goal I got to work on, or the first thing I got to do is identify, what activity do I need to do to drive each of these traffics. So I said, okay, for social media, if I'm going to have two channels, Facebook and YouTube, then I got to create, for paid social media, then I got to create ads in those. And so I started looking at ads. And so I just wanted to kind of follow up on Facebook. And here is our Facebook. Here is our Facebook create ad screen. And so I said, hey, I've got a goal to get more website visitors. And I didn't really completely flesh this out. This is high level so far. Don't pay any attention to any of that. But the big thing is, I guess, that we're going to have a link in the form of a learn more button. and that, we've defined an audience here: 18 to 65-year-old males living in the United States with interests in brand management, marketing, leadership, development, digital media, business, entrepreneurship, or creative entrepreneurship, who are small business owners. And it told us that gave us an audience of 100 million people or something like that. I mean, a big, huge audience. And then, we set the daily budget based on our target of needing 300, that'd be right. Needing 350 visitors per week from paid social media, and Facebook being half, then we needed 157. And the biggest thing is that Facebook is projecting a 10 to 15%, depending on which configuration I look at, click-through rate, as opposed to the 2-ish% that we saw from industry. So we may have to do some experiments here to see really what reality is. However, I just kind of wanted to give you a quick overview here and say that, hey, it looks like, according to Google, or according to Facebook, performance will be much higher here. The important thing is that makes the click-through rate, or the customer acquisition cost, pretty darn low coming from here. Originally, at another configuration, it probably makes it like $3-4 ahead. I'll have to go through and recalculate it with this configuration, which seems way low. But if that's the case, it really increases hope on my end. So anyway, that's Facebook. Austin, any thoughts on Facebook?
I think it's funny, as we delve deeper into each subject, you start feeling like we're seeing the end of the tunnel as opposed to seeing these impossible numbers. So I think that it's important to know how decomposition can really help us to be motivated and find the ways to get stuff done.
Okay. Yes. Decomposing and decomposing more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, perfect. So today, I want to continue to focus on getting our hustle metrics. I mean, basically, got 36 hours from now. If we want to close up our metrics thing, then I got to get all these hustle metrics figured out in the next 36 hours.
Mm-hmm.
In the way is just that I have commitments tonight. So other than that, and the biggest one's working out. Working out's the biggest thing in the way, because after working out, I just don't feel like doing anything else. Quick poll to the audience. Does anybody ever actually feel like after they've worked out, they're feeling better and life is good? Does working out make you feel better? Because I always drag afterwards. Anyway, got to keep my prep workout going, so that's what I got.
Father, I wonder what we need to do is an experiment and get you working out in the morning and see what that does.
Yeah. Hey, Austin, that's all I got. So back to you to bring us home.
Well, I'm happy to say that tomorrow's our retrospective and review. Just means that we've got a bit of catching up to do, but we will do it, and we will see you there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Enjoy your day.
That's Mountain Time.